Hi everyone. Now in my last video I was playing with my gelatin plate, which I haven't played with before, and I was printing some different papers. I printed some printer paper, I printed some very fine rice paper, and I kept adding layers of print to it. I was using a fern leaf, and then to use the papers I started layering them up with some PVA glue and water and made a nice collage from them. So that's where it ended in my last video. About there. I decided that I would like to cut it into two pieces because, every bit of it I looked at, I could find a design I liked. And then I put it onto a thicker card. I added some yellow tissue paper down the side just to get it big enough and to give it a bit of oomph. And now I'm looking at bits and pieces I might want to do to it to improve it. So I'm looking at different things. I'm looking at mesh, and I'm looking at, that was a fine glittery one. This is a heavier green one, and I'll try it on there. See how I'm choosing things that are the colors that are in there already. Yeah, that's a leaf skeleton. That could look nice. Some fabric maybe. That I like that punch of orange in there. Maybe it needs some darker, some contrast. The one on the left looks like it needs a bit of contrast. I think what I have to do is put one aside and we'll play with one today and see what we come up with. Oh, there's that linen. That was it. We also tried to print with that. Okay, so I'm grabbing out lots of different things and I am looking at some different threads that I might want to use. I'm using a pearl cotton when I do get it out. And I'm just trying it, do I like that? Can I see that leaf skeleton better when it's on the orange or not? So we're having a big mixture here of paper and cloth. We had already glued some cloth down to our background in the last episode. And now I'm just wanting to stitch some things down in this one. I'll spend some time rearranging things, and that little frame around there, that really helps me to visualize, which bit I want to concentrate on. Could I put that little bit of black there? Not really there. I don't want it there. Where do I want my leaf skeleton? Where am I going to see it? I end up putting it there, and I put a very fine layer of that glitter net behind it. And then I'm just showing you now, we're starting the stitching. So some pearl cotton, I'm using some crochet cotton. I don't do a knot when I'm stitching through paper. I just leave a tail and put some sticky tape on it to hold it. And then it's up from the bottom. And a few stitches is really going to pick this design up, I think. So up from the bottom and then down from the top. And just these simple running stitches is going to be good. Sometimes when I want to be precise about where I am bringing up my needle, of course I can't see through the paper, so I punch a little hole where I want the next one to come up whilst I'm on the front, and I know where it is, you see. And then I can turn the whole thing over and I'll see that little puncture point and I'll bring it up there. So what I'm doing is going down that central stem of that leaf. I'm going to speed up again here because I'll just keep going with this orange cotton. I'm going to also put in my square of orange fabric at the same time. So that's 3 things. I'll go around the edge of that leaf and around the edge of some of that orange square of fabric. And then whilst I'm there and I've still got a little bit more thread, I'm just going to do some random stitches. That'll be straight, running stitch, and it's going to go over the orange and out into that space. it's going to meld the two together really. I love the combination of fabric and stitch and paper. Getting it all together is the best of both worlds. And then I love adding in a natural element, so the leaf skeleton is going to do that. When I finish with the thread, I am just going to turn it to the back as you just saw there and put some sticky tape on and trim it. I'm still wondering where to put that bit of black. It feels like it needs a contrast. There's a dried leaf I picked up. That could go on. You could couch that on many things. This here is a tissue paper molding I did from a rubber stamp. And I do have a video on that. I'm looking at it thinking, it's a little bit too dark. What do I want? So I've done that little bit of orange stitchery, and now I'm getting a different color out, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do over here, I'm going to put the sticky tape on, and what I want to do here is some little crosses. And I'm going to go from that fabric that I'm sewing through now, and that is a eco-printed rust mordant project that I had done once. There's also a video on that, and I use it a lot. All right, so with the little crosses, I am marking it with my needle point, so I know where to come up from behind. Most of the time anyway. So I'm just doing a little spray of that. And then what I look at then is I'm thinking down the bottom, maybe this brown kind of webbing kind of mesh would be all right. It's not doing a lot though, is it? So then I think maybe double. Maybe if it was double, well, that adds a bit more depth. And then what I eventually do is that I decide I'm going to put it down here, because that's my bit that sort of doesn't have much in it. And I'm going to fold it over, and I'm going to put something else there as well. Now here, that's that paper that we were playing with last time, and it has those holes in it from the water drips. Nice lacy paper. But it doesn't, it's not putting anything much there that's helping us. No, I still want it to be a little bit of a contrast there. So what do? I'll think on that and come back to it. What I am going to do is pop on some of this green, thicker webbing stuff I have. It tears nicely. It does these lovely edges. It looks very organic, and I'm just going to pop it down somewhere there. No, yeah, I always get out the surround so I can see it, but where I think I might like it is up here. There we go. And I still have that turquoise or teal colored cotton, so I'm going to use the rest of it, and I'm going to go up through that, and I'm just going to do little seed stitches this time, and that's just a little tiny stitch, all going in different directions, all very random, but it's a good one for holding down something like this, because I have to go, over those little bits that are there, because there's an awful lot of holes in there. So I keep going with my thread, and sometimes I'll even go outside onto that negative space, onto the background, and just make sure that I get it all. And look how well that looks. You can see that teal color, dark aqua. All right, let's get back to down here. I've got that mesh out again. And like I said, I am going to use 2 layers of this very, very fine mesh, and I'm going to layer it up. See, there's already depth of color there, but I'm also going to put in that little scrap of black I kept trying to pop in between those layers. And I'm going to stagger it a bit. I'm going to have one layer at the top and 2 layers down the bottom, like this. There it is. In between those 2 layers, it's not going anywhere. But how am I going to get it to stay there while I'm sewing it? So I decide I'm going to do this. I folded that over with the black mesh inside, and I'm just popping some sticky tape down on the edge. I can remove it later, or it really doesn't matter. It's going to be under the it's not going to be seen anyway. But I'm going to do the same here, and I think this will work well for holding it whilst I'm trying to get it stitched. I'm going to use a different thread again, this time a nice green, and I started off just the same way, and I'm just going to do some nice big stitches. You know, I'm going to make sure that I get that stuck down, that stitched down. But I'm just going to make my stitches, you know, I'll go across, capturing one line, and then I'll come back and do another. Not necessarily straight. I might stagger my stitches, and then I might do some that off again into the background, blending it in a bit. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that works. Quite happy. We've done 3 different kinds of stitches. I'm going to pop some yellow in as well, goldy yellow. I'm going to put it above that orange, I think, and that'll help pick up that yellow on the side. So we'll look at some close-ups now so that you can have a better look at what we've been working on. I really like it. I can see that fern leaf in there. Wow. All those different elements all came together lovely. And that's what I like to do. I hope you enjoyed watching me do this. I think I might actually do the second one as well. I have enjoyed it. We'll see if we can come up with something different for it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and push like if you have liked it. Thank you.